Hello, welcome back to All That Work for Nothing podcast with your hosts, Doriel
and Shane.
And we have a special guest today. We have my beautiful mother.
Hi.
Her name is Cindy. She's a little bit nervous, which I think we all are because we've never had a guest. Well, we've had a guest before, but not with like the whole setup and everything.
It was quite a different setup back in the day.
It really was. It was more simpler. We were literally all sharing one microphone.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And we were downstairs, just on the dining room table.
Yeah.
Simpler times.
Simpler times.
All that like 9 months ago.
Yeah.
Or wait, no, 7 months ago.
About 7.
It was right before
our wedding. Our wedding. Anywho, the reason why my mom is here is because it was my birthday this last week. It was my 30th birthday, as my mother is so valiantly saying.
Well, yeah, happy 30th. I'm proud of those 30 years that I've had you.
Oh, thanks, Mom. So, we thought we'd have my mom on since she was here, and then also to talk about the conniving and scheming that was going on behind my back to get my mom here.
Yeah, it was very duplicitous.
Duplicitous, that's a good word.
Yeah, I bought it. I spent like $5 on it, so it better be good.
Oh, wow, yeah. So go ahead.
Well, it was all your mom's doing. You texted me like right around New Year's, right around Christmas.
Oh, really? It was that long, huh?
It was a while ago. Something like that. And then, we were, it pretty much all came together that night. We're looking at flights, figuring out times, and then, the actual details kind of came in later. Which probably could have been done in a, more streamlined, simpler way than my...
It worked out, though.
It worked out. Basically, anytime I try to do something surprise-wise, I end up just going, well, it worked out. Because I would have been a terrible spy, would have been a terrible undercover cop or anything like that, because I don't like lying. I don't like going behind people's backs, and I am very bad at it's two anxieties in one, because it's the anxiety of hiding something from you, and it's the anxiety of not texting somebody back, and you can't have both those things when you're, coming up with a scheme like this. So I was caught in between either not texting Cindy back quick enough or hiding the text from you. So eventually I just came up with a plan of telling you that we were working on a gift for you. So, yes, we were working on a gift for you. That's why I was texting your mom, and you were a little skeptical of that.
I was skeptical?
You were a bit skeptical of that, but I think you realized that, this is something that they're working on together, and I was very, very slim with the details, as slim as I could be. And then I wanted to make it so that we picked your mom up at the airport. I probably could have done it a different way, but I had this image in my mind of us getting her at the airport and you being surprised and running out and giving her a hug, which is what happened. So my imagination came true. What I had in my head actually occurred, which is kind of rare. But the way we got you to the airport was that I told you we were going up to the mountains, which we still are, but I told you we were going up to the mountains on the day of your birthday, and we were going to spend a night in the snow because you love the snow so much. But we had to make a quick pit stop on the way. We had to stop at the post office, which, oh no, your mom sent the package to the wrong post office, and there's a post office right by the airport. And saying it all out loud, I'm like, oh my god. But no, it worked out. I think you kind of, the closer and closer we got, the less and less you believed me. But that's fine, because it fell apart right all at the end. So.
It did. First of all, I know my mom, and I know that she's one for the dramatics because I came from her loins. And I am one for the dramatics.
30 years ago.
I came from her loins 30 years ago, so I think I know her. But
Intuitive.
Yeah, no, sure. It's because I know you. I just know you, and because I would do something like that, and I'm like, I know for a fact my mom would because she raised me. I knew she was coming, but I didn't know that it was actually on my birthday. I legit thought we were going to the mountains. Mm-hmm. I was really excited for going to the mountains and going to the to the snow because it hasn't snowed here. It's just been raining. And as soon as you said, oh, the package went to this post office that just like happens to be right near the airport, and I was like, sure, this human-sized package. And then so yeah, I basically told Shane the jig is up. I was like, I know my mom's here. I know she is, like, because I knew you were coming. Like I said, I just thought so. Another reason why I suspected my mom was coming was because I could tell that she schedule sent her text for my birthday. And because when I texted her back, she didn't text me back. And she would always text me back, especially on my birthday. And so she schedule sent a text for like 12:15 a.m. or 12:16. 12:16.
You came out.
The time I came.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, I came out 12:16 p.m. But she decided to be cute and do 12:16 a.m.
Because I always do 12. I have to be the first to wish people, especially my kids, happy birthday. So that's why I did that. And then I did another one on 12:16 p.m., but I was in the air.
Yep. Oh, yeah. See, I didn't know that. Yeah. I really didn't think. But anyways, you also didn't call me. Like, even when you text me at midnight, sure, you'll normally text me at midnight, but then as soon as you get up in the morning, you call me, and then you'll sing happy birthday to me. And I even told Jane, I'm like, my mom hasn't called me. Like, she's only texted me. And I was just like, she always calls me, like, every single birthday. She always has to be the first to say happy birthday and then the first to sing it to me. So I was like, really, I was concerned. I was concerned. Yeah. And I kind of was like, the wheels started turning. I was like, okay, she's like, the wheels have been turning for a while. The wheels have been turning for the last few weeks because you mentioned coming out here, and then I was like, no, don't worry about it, being a martyr. I was like, no, it's fine. I'll just be sad on my birthday alone.
You mentioned about Christmas. You wanted, like, I want to be with you for Christmas. And I was like, well, we can be together soon.
Yeah, so.
Sometime.
There was, like, these little tiny, like, breadcrumbs that I was picking up on. What I thought was going to happen, like, the reason I thought you didn't call me wasn't because I had no idea you were coming on my actual birthday. I thought that you just didn't want to talk to me because you were trying to keep up the facade of like, oh, I'm not coming, haha. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I thought you were like gearing yourself up to come, but I thought we were supposed to go up to the mountains for one night, and then we were going to come back. And I thought that while we were gone, you would come, and then I would walk in, and you'd be in the house. Like, oh, what are you guys doing here?
Would have been such a simpler, better plan.
Shane, we'll plan that next year.
Next time.
No.
She'll have no idea.
Tell them what you told me last night about my birthday. About birthdays going forward.
About birthdays going forward?
Yeah. Tell them what you said.
What did I say last night?
You're like, no, I'm never going to do any more surprises for you.
Well, the surprise was stressful. So I did a surprise for Doriel last year, but it was a lot simpler. Basically, she was going to have a video chat with one of her friends, and I just had all the other friends join. So instead of it being with one friend, it was with all of our friends from back in Colorado. Super simple, right? Yeah, just she was going to be on the computer anyway, and there happened to be more people there. This was way different because since I decided to do it where we pick you up at the airport, we had to time it really well because I didn't want you waiting out there for that long because it was cold. I didn't want us to get there too early because then I'd just be like, oh, well, I guess we'll have to go around again, because my other thing was like we were going to miss the post office. Like, darn, missed that turn. Well, we can just go through departures, I guess, and swing back around. So you can only do that once. Otherwise, it's a little suspicious after that. But your flight kept getting delayed.
Yeah.
Oh, and I will say, I noticed that you were texting my mom.
Yeah.
In the morning, and
I didn't know this.
Yeah, I didn't tell you this because I didn't want to give it away, but I noticed you were texting my mom because I knew you guys were doing. He told me that you guys were doing some kind of thing. Yeah, you guys were in cahoots.
Cahooting.
So I knew that you guys were in cahoots with each other, but I noticed that he was very much on edge that morning. I noticed more than not that you were texting her more than normal. Mm-hmm. you know?
Yeah.
So I was like, uh-oh, what's going on there? Like, I don't know. I don't think I knew anything was... I honestly still did... At that point, I had no idea you were coming in on my birthday. So, but like, I noticed something was off with you. Like, you were acting very squirrely. More than usual.
I had a feeling he was gonna. Yeah, I was so worried that you were just gonna like mess it up. And I wouldn't have, like if she had found out for real what was happening, I wouldn't have been mad. I'd have been like, that's okay, whatever.
Yeah.
The whole thing is me being out here. So.
Yeah. It was just. I tried to tell myself the night before, like, whatever happens, it'll be fine. Yeah. But I could not escape the tension. And the more times you kept texting me that the flight was delayed, I was just like, oh, God damn it. So, yeah, I think the next time I'll either go for a simpler surprise or just I'll tell you as soon as your mom's coming out here.
No. Or I will just show up.
Oh, there you go. Surprise.
Actually,
both. Yep.
You know what? That would be great. Yeah, cut out the middleman. No, Shane has. He is also one for the dramatics and loves to be part of, like, planning things and that kind of thing, like surprises and stuff. But he also hates the tension of it. As soon as as soon as we get close to the event is when he gets the most stressed, like no matter what. Even if everything's working out well, you're just one of those people that, like, if one little nugget goes wrong, if it goes off the beaten path of what you had in your mind, you freak out.
Well,
because you're one of those people that's like, I have this specific thing in mind and it has to go this way. And so if it doesn't, it's ruined. The whole thing is ruined.
Yeah, I've always been like that. When I was a kid, I would start things over if they weren't usually perfect. I drew inside the lines as a kid, like religiously.
I tried doing that too. Yeah, and I told you that I found like on one of these like writing prompt homeworks I had to do in 3rd grade. There was a little girl on it, and she had like a little like speech bubble, and it was like, I want to write about this or whatever. And you remember those? Yeah. It was like, write it right. That's what it was. It was write it right. Mm-hmm. That's what it was called. And I would always try to color her in. And I remember specifically, like, if I colored outside of the lines, I thought that I was going to fail the homework assignment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's something that's carried with me. It's funny that you mentioned that. Even if everything's going right, that's when I get the most nervous. If everything's going right, that means that's the least.
That makes sense because
that's the more scary.
It's like
it is.
The other shoe's gonna drop, right? Yes,
exactly. The thought that comes to my mind is that when I was a kid, there were like video games like Metal Gear Solid or SOCOM Navy SEAL, and in those games you had to sneak around and not get caught. And so the second I got caught, I'd quit and start over.
Oh, that's funny.
So I never got past the first level in any of those things because I wanted to be perfect every single time.
Oh, well, I didn't have that kind of perfection, but
yeah,
I remember there were certain words that I'd have to say in my head while I was getting ready. And if I didn't say these specific words, I don't know what they are now, but if I didn't say these specific words, I was going to have a bad day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, call that what you will, OCD.
Perfectionism, whatever.
Perfectionism, I don't know.
Well, we've talked about this, how we have that kind of part in our brain, it might be ADHD or something like that.
Yeah.
Where, like, we desire perfection so much, but we get so exhausted by our pursuit of perfection that we rarely accomplish it.
Yep. And, like, this podcast is a prime example with my perfectionism issue. I do the setup. I do the technical stuff. Like, I'm the one who bought everything for it. Like, I've learned and, like, you could have done all this, but I was like, no, I'll do it. Because I'm not tech savvy. So I've had to, like learning how to do the setup and, like, learning how to use the software and what kind of mics work and how to do the mic. Like, I've had to learn so much. And it's because of my inability to give up control. Because I want it to sound a certain way and look a certain way. Yeah. And so Shane has a lot to do with this podcast. Like, you make this podcast amazing. But all the behind the scenes stuff is mine. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to work on allowing more for you to do Because you've helped me with editing in the past, but that was when it was just on the one recording software.
Yeah, I feel like once I got a hang of the editing, we went up to the next level and had to do video and editing.
Yeah, well, and you saw like
learning
the video editing software took me a week straight. It took me like a whole week to learn how to do it because it's very complicated. It's very involved. It's a professional grade technology, so it's what a lot of professional people like YouTubers use, and so I just went straight for professional, I guess, instead of working my way up. But I'm gonna have to learn it sometime. Yeah. But anyways, the perfectionism is really getting in the way because I'm missing deadlines.
Yeah,
like we're supposed to post these on Tuesdays, and the last 2 I've posted on a Wednesday. Yesterday I got down to the wire and posted it at like 11 p.m. on a Tuesday.
Oh, I had a thought about that. So one of the things they tell filmmakers to do is to watch bad movies, because by watching bad movies you can kind of see the technical errors. So it teaches you about technical stuff, and also kind of relaxes you, because if people were fine with those mistakes and they still were able to make their movie, you should be more fine with yours. So yes, and which is a movie I want to watch with you because Johnny Depp's in there.
Yes, so we watched it.
You and me?
The one where he plays Ed Wood.
I think she's called Ed Wood.
Oh, yeah, Ed Wood.
You and I haven't watched it.
I know, but I'm saying I've watched it.
Oh, I haven't. I want to see it.
Oh, you haven't?
No,
I thought you were saying that you wanted to watch it with me because you'd seen it and I hadn't.
Oh, no.
So you make it
quite
an
the
Ed Wood
opposite.
night. Do what we used to do, where you have to watch Ed Wood first, so it sets it up. Then you understand the Ed Wood actual movies of like what was that? Plan 9 from Outer Space?
Yeah, Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Oh, you stupid. Anyway, God, that line in there. You'll see. And then Glenn or Glenda. Is there another one?
I can't think of it. Plan 9 is the one that everybody knows. They used to have those. They used to show those in North Portland. It was a very big deal that they would have those Plan 9. What would you call those? Not streamings, but what they used to call
Showings. Oh, yeah.
They used to have Plan 9 from Outer Space showings in Portland, and it was a big deal. I forget they would do it every year. Now it's kind of more of a popular thing. I know there's a really famous one with The Room. I forget where they have it, but everybody brings their own spoons, and they throw spoons at the at the movie theater.
Really?
Yeah, I forget where that's from. I haven't seen The Room, but I hear it's really good.
It's kind of like watching Rocky Horror Picture Show. Yeah. Where they have all the toilet paper and all the other little props.
That sounds like
That's
so
fun.
much fun.
Yeah. I saw that at the theater in October. And
really?
Yes, with my friend. It was awesome.
That sounds like fun.
Oh.
So anyway, the point of that
You gotta do it.
was that maybe we should find some really bad podcasts, some really like lowly rated podcasts. I'm not sure if there are any.
I was gonna say that's kind of messed up to say because podcasting is hard in and of itself.
Maybe we should find some newbie
you know
podcasts.
What? I was gonna say either like podcasts like ours that are really new to the scene that are still getting their bearings. We can watch what they're doing, and then maybe they have something that we don't, or maybe they're doing stuff that we're not doing. Like we are doing these things that they're not doing, and we can compare and contrast and all those things. But I will say I was going to say there's no such thing as bad podcast. Oh, there is. There's lots of bad podcasts out there. Like we've talked about like the incel podcasts.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's just a bunch of dudes that are like, females, am I right?
Yeah, I guess there's bad content in podcasts. But it'd be wrong to call a podcast wrong for technical reasons because we understand how hard that is.
Oh, it's insanely hard. But it's also something I've always wanted to learn. Like, honestly, I don't understand why I didn't go to school for, like, filmmaking or... Remember, as a kid, I would make so many videos with my friends, and I was always if I wasn't in the video, and I was always the one... Okay, sorry. If I wasn't in the video, I was behind the camera, and I would be directing everybody. And I was always writing skits. I was always writing... Like, I remember I wanted to be on SNL. That was like my biggest dream. I wanted to be on SNL so bad. It could still happen. I was
writing plays as a kid, little skits. So you take after me big time. I love saying that. Sorry. I'll never stop being proud.
Well, I did come from your loins.
True. No, but when I was a kid, I would do that. I would write a lot of plays, and then I would want the neighborhood kids to join in, and I would direct, write, produce. My mom's like, could you give them something to do? They're acting in the play that I made for them. So I get it.
Yeah, that was definitely me. I was such a bossy little kid. I'd be like, I wanted you to fall over here for the cinematic effect, and you fell over here. So could you do that again?
You had a vision.
I had a vision, and I wanted it to be done a specific way. And yeah, I don't understand like why I decided not to go to school to become. Well, I've talked about this several times with like, why didn't I go to school for that?
There's still time.
I mean, yeah, that's true. Because like there was that one time I was talking about anthropology and how much I love anthropology, and I'm like, why didn't I go to school for anthropology? But then at the same time, my true passion is stuff like this, like creating things and being creative and making things and being proud of that kind of stuff, and making people laugh is like one of the biggest things that I love doing. Hindsight is always 20/20. Yeah. So if I could do it over again, I would go for like filmmaking, producing, editing, that kind of thing. I would go more for that, and then I would take improv classes.
Yeah.
I wish I could do it again. I do, but you know, it's never too late. No. I'm only 30. Right. I'm so young. Even though I was crying on my 30th, I literally at midnight, I cried because I was like, I'm so old, and I know I'm not. It's all perspective. Mm-hmm. Like I don't feel 30. I still feel like I'm 23.
Yeah.
And it's all mental. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so I just need to change my thought process about my age.
Remember what I said about growing old? When I was 26, I felt old. I was at work, and I think her name was Patty. She had a profound effect on me. So she knew it was my birthday, wished me happy birthday, and I said, yeah, I feel old, blah, blah. Oh, I know that feeling. I felt that way too at your age. But then I thought to myself, it's inevitable I have to grow old, but why do I have to grow up? And I was like, bing.
Yeah, that is really profound. Yeah. I've had a lot of profound people at my job that are always older than me, and they're like, you young whippersnapper. And then they like drop knowledge on me. They just drop this sage wisdom, and I'm like,
it's fun as you grow older. I love having these little tidbits for the younger folks. Oh, just wait, and it'll happen for you. So
the only thing is, though, is when you're at that age and someone tells you, oh, I was in that same spot and I blah, blah, blah. It's different when you're hearing it as opposed to living it. Sure. So, yes, I've had people drop sage wisdom on me. I've had you give me advice and, so many people over the years. But until I live that, I will never fully understand it. And it, like, for me, it's like I have to experience it first. I can't just learn from the advice that's coming at me.
Well, it's like you tuck it away. And then one day you're like, oh, I remember what she said. And then that's when it's your aha moment. You don't have to live it then, but you can draw from it later.
See, you're dropping more wisdom, more sage advice.
Now she needs a bigger audience.
I keep telling my mom she's only here for a week, and I haven't seen her since our wedding, so it's been 7 months since I saw my mom in person. So I'm like, you're gonna have to stay a few more days. So here's a prime example. I need this sage wisdom. You gotta stay.
All right, fine.
Woo!
I mean, it is snowy and icy outside.
Yeah,
so.
It's snowy and icy, and the planes aren't going to be going. I'm going to call them and make sure. I mean, what?
That was one thing I did schedule that turned out well. Is I scheduled this snow, and it came a day late, but
yeah.
Better late than never.
Speaking of the snow, it actually snowed for 24 hours here. Mm-hmm. The day after my birthday. So yeah, you ordered the snow. It just was a little bit late. And that's totally okay, because if it was on my birthday, who knows if my mom's flight would have even come in.
Oh my God. Yeah.
This town shuts down in the snow because they're just like, snow? What's that? Which I get it, because you don't get a lot of snow here, but...
Well, anything in comparison to, like, Colorado is going to be quite difficult.
Yeah.
Unless you're, like, in, like, Helena, Montana or something
Which
like
I find so funny that you would put a international airport at a place that gets that much snow and ice and cold weather.
In Montana?
No, in Denver.
Oh.
I mean, it's a big city. I mean, yeah, you gotta have something.
You gotta go somewhere.
You gotta have something for that kind of middle spot.
Yeah.
I mean, we experienced that firsthand. Like, what was that, a year or two ago? Trying to fly back into Denver and then circling and circling and circling and circling.
Yeah, that was horrendous. That was the first time I ever puked on a plane. But I will say, after I puked, I felt great. I felt like a new woman. I was looking out the window and was like, oh my God, is this what it's like to not feel sick? Like, wow. Like, this is what normal people can do? You can look out the window and see things and not feel, like, nauseous.
I mean, yeah, it's great.
It felt great.
It's amazing.
Throwing up didn't feel great. But afterwards, I was like,
Afterwards is good.
except for when you're holding your puke bag.
Yeah.
You're just like,
That's for you still in the seat.
Oh, God.
no, we just held it. Oh, God, that's so mean. Just like, have fun with that.
Imagine it slides all the way to the front.
Ew. Okay. No. So let's move on. Since it's a birthday episode, I was thinking maybe I could talk about what I've learned in my 30 years, like big life lessons, or I want to do. Okay, so one of the things I really want to do. I don't think I've told you this yet. I want to do a TikTok where I'm 20 and I'm talking to my 30-year-old self. Have you ever seen those?
Oh, no.
It's a huge trend where people will like talk to their future selves, but their future selves is them now, and then they're like reflecting back on where you were at that age. Mm-hmm. And so I thought it'd be fun to do it at like 20, and then maybe even one at 25, just to like check back in with myself. But yeah, so I also saw one today that was really interesting. This girl last January, she does a yearly check-in with herself, with her future self. So she'll be like, hi, how are you? And then like every 2 seconds, she'll go back and forth from her, like this was January of 2022 and then January of 2023. So now she has one from January 2023, and then she just made one today. And then so she does it every year. And I was like, that's really smart.
Do a check-in with yourself?
Yeah, do a check-in with yourself, like a video diary of like, oh, this is where we're at. Are you still doing this? Are you still interested in that? But anyways, I thought it'd be really funny because my life has drastically changed from 20 to 30.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, when I was 20, I was so, like, I remember feeling old. Mm-hmm. I remember feeling this exact same feeling where I'm like, oh, the world is so far away.
Clearly doesn't come from my side.
Okay. But,
Part.
well, I don't know. It's just one of those things, like, the society makes you feel like if you don't have a specific thing or a specific lifestyle by a certain age, you've missed it. It's out of your grasp. And so being 30 and not having the career that I want, and not being able to go out to a fucking grocery store and buy groceries without freaking out, like, I feel like I've missed some kind of mark, you know, and that it's too late for me. And I know it's not, but it feels that way mostly because of what you see in society. But anyways, when I was 20, I remember feeling like, oh, I don't know if I'll ever reach my goals. I don't know if because I had so many goals and aspirations and dreams. And, you know, I was with a completely different person back then. And I, for sure, at 20, I was like, we're going to be together forever. Yay. We're going to get married. And I, for sure, thought that by the time I was 30, I would have at least 2 kids. And now, I don't want kids. So I thought it'd be fun to, like, pretend to be me as a 20-year-old and be like, do you have kids? And I'm like, no. Yeah, and you don't want kids. And I'd be like, what? What do you mean? What did you do?
That's cute.
What did you do?
What did you do? And then kind of be like, I thought it'd be really funny because I'm fun employed right now. I thought it'd be really funny to be like, so are you, like, because at that time I wanted to be a teacher. So are you teaching? And I'd be like, no, I don't have a job right now, but we're okay with that. And then my 20-year-old self would just, like, have a malfunction. Like, what do you mean? But also just, like, the fact that I'd be like, oh, no, you're not with the person that you are with now. You're with someone completely different. Like, that would blow my 20-year-old mind. You know?
Some of you don't even know at that point.
Yep. So, Yeah, that's something that I want to make this year because I thought that would be fun just to like reflect back on me being 20, and then also I feel like it'll give me some like insight into like, oh, you know, maybe I didn't do all the things that I thought I was going to do at 20, but I don't want those things anymore. So am I a failure? No, I'm not a failure.
It's also the economy. It's like what's going on in the world too. You know, you're not alone. Not that makes it any better, but sometimes some people feel like, oh, I'm not alone in where thought I was supposed to be. I have a college degree and I'm not using it, blah, blah, blah. You can't ever take your education away though. You know what I mean? It's still something good to fall back on, but it's just not a very good time for all you youngsters out there, you know?
Yeah. What did they call our generation? Millennials? Well, the unfortunate generation, or?
Oh, well, there was something like that. It was something along those lines. Like, instead of the greatest generation, or the unfortunate generation.
Yeah, like unlucky generation, or something like that. Because of all the bullshit that we've had to go through, and so many of us can't afford housing.
There's plenty of stats like back that up in terms of like buying power, saved, like savings, wealth, all that stuff. We are very less well off than the generations before us, which is, you know, kind of rare because usually you expect generations to be better than the ones beforehand, but not so much ours.
Always. That's not always going to happen.
Not always.
True.
You can always go backwards.
Well,
we're living proof of that.
The good thing is there's so much technology out there where there's new ways to make money. It's not always, you know, oh, I have a degree. I can do podcasts. I can write my own books and sell them myself. I could create my own skits and shows or whatever. There's a gig. What do you call that? The
gig economy?
Yeah, right. So in one sense, yeah, I see the turmoil, but on the other side, I also see the good that can come out of it.
Yeah.
What's that expression about? Yeah, right. Oh, mother of opportunity. What is? You'll know.
Innovation is right. What is it?
Yeah,
I can't think of it. Opportunity is the mother of innovation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew that.
I mean, it is kind of like a one door closes, another door kind of opens kind of sense. Because I would have never thought that this is where I would be.
Yeah.
I put way too much stock in my late 20s. I kind of had this whole idea growing up that my late 20s was like the time where like I would have enough things figured out but still be young. So I put like a lot of emphasis on like being successful or being in a place I wanted to be by my late 20s.
No, that's exactly what all of us do.
Yeah.
Because when you're a kid and you see someone in their late 20s, you're like, they're an adult. They have it all figured out. And, like, they have a house and they're paying taxes. And, like, I just remember as a kid being so much in awe when I would look at adults and be like, how did you learn all that? Like, how do you know how to do all this stuff? How do you know how to pay taxes? The fact is, no one fucking knows because the tax system is so ridiculously stupid and it's so convoluted and so elitist that no one understands how to do it. You just kind of type in numbers where they tell you to type in numbers, and then you're kind of just like, okay, sure, I guess. I mean, it's really like everything else. It's just like you throw a certain amount of money at something to do an okay enough job. Yeah.
That's what everything is now. Like the gig economy, for a lot of reasons, is just put enough money in there and it'll get close enough. So that's how I always feel every year doing taxes. Because they ask me all these questions and I'm like, is this close enough? I paid you $60 sometimes. Sometimes they don't charge you. Sometimes they do.
I saw this post the other day that made me laugh, and it was like a conversation between this person and the IRS. And the IRS is like, money, please. And the person was like, okay, how much do I owe you? And they're like, the IRS is like, guess. And then the person's like, okay, $60. And then the IRS goes, jail, sad face. That's literally what it feels like, you know? And then there's all these freaking crazy billionaires and millionaires and giant corporations that are skipping out on taxes, but they are stealing millions of dollars from the economy, but they don't go to jail.
Well, they just do the same thing. They just throw X amount of dollars to somebody else.
Exactly.
And make it all better.
No, but they know that they're cheating the system.
Yeah, I mean, they paid all that money to lawmakers. They better be. They better get something out of it.
Yeah. Anyways, before I get too angry, do you want to talk about... Let's talk about since we're talking about, like, birthday wisdom and birthday stuff, we can talk about, like, the birthday memories that we remember most.
Sure. I've had a few good birthdays. My birthdays as a kid were always kind of a bummer because they were right in the middle of the summertime.
Yeah.
So
my mom feels that.
Yeah, you get it. So, like, none of my friends were really around. I never got to experience, like, going to school when it was my birthday. So my birthday always got lumped in either at the beginning of the year or the end of the year with all the other summer birthday kids. I do remember... Huh?
You're lucky. That didn't happen for us.
Oh, really?
Back in my day.
I remember, yeah, they would bring cupcakes, and they would just kind of have like the hodgepodge of summer kid cupcakes, so we'd all have to share together.
Oh.
Yeah, we didn't do that for summer kids.
Really?
Summer kids were like, we don't care.
Yeah,
you
don't exist. Yeah. You don't matter. No.
You were born in the wrong season, okay?
I mean, I really was. No, I liked having my summer birthday because a lot of times I would be up here for my birthday because my family lived up here growing up, so that was cool. The times I was still in San Clemente, though, it was tougher because sometimes there wasn't any kids that could come to my birthday, so it was just family. When I got older, it was still fun because kids would kind of hang out for the summer, or I would either have friends in college or friends back home in San Clemente, so I would always have somebody that I could choose to hang out with on my birthday. One fun birthday that comes to mind was my 18th birthday. Which was, I had just graduated from high school, and my high school girlfriend at the time threw a surprise party for me. With like all my favorites, like drinks and food and like a whole bunch of stuff. And she invited people, but eventually she invited too many people. So people I had never met before started to show up. Aww. And after a while, it stopped becoming like my birthday party and just became like a house party.
Oh.
Yeah.
And her poor mom, I still remember the look on her face when she kind of realized like where are all these people coming from. Because she signed off on having a surprise birthday party for me, but she didn't sign off on having a house party. With like 50 plus people coming.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and she had a nice house. She had like a pool in her backyard,
okay.
And she had like all this cool, fun stuff. So yeah, once people caught wind of that, they started showing up from out of the woodwork all over. Mm-hmm. And I remember just having a blast. I remember having a lot of fun. And then people I hadn't seen in years like showed up because they heard there was a party, and then it just happened to be my birthday party.
I hope they said happy birthday to you at least.
They did. As they were walking into the house, they would say happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday. Where's the weed?
Wait, were you guys there?
Maybe. Except that would have been weird because how old would I? 14?
Yeah.
I'd have been 14. No. Because you are 4.5 years older than me. Like, and sometimes you're 5 years older than me. So at that point, I probably would have been 13 going on 14.
Yeah.
I am 13 going on 14.
Because whenever it's my birthday...
Sorry, that was dumb.
No.
Like, and I was doing it and no one's looking at me. I just committed.
You stuck with it. That's beautiful.
It's never a bad choice to commit to Sound of Music.
Well,
True.
or just commit to the bit.
Oh, always commit to the bit. Yeah, that was a fun birthday. Other ones, you threw me a surprise birthday. That was fun.
Yeah, that was fun, but you ruined the surprise as soon as I figured it out.
It's hard coming up with surprises, right? Especially the texting part of it.
Oh yeah, so the reason why you figured out so what my plan was that we were gonna go. It was our last birthday in Colorado, so I thought it would be like this really great thing to throw a giant party with all of our friends, like one last hurrah, because we were leaving in August, for Washington, and so I was like, okay, this is Shane's last birthday with his two best friends that he was living out there with, and then it'll be like our last shindig before the big move. And so what I did was I I texted all the friends and told them like, hey, let's do something for Shane's birthday. It'll also be like our last hurrah together. And I had this group text going, and we all pitched in on like a really cool Airbnb in Colorado Springs, which is an area that you really like. And I just thought it'd be fun just for all of us to go on like one last road trip together. That wasn't too far. Like if we went to like Grand Junction, it's like a 5-hour drive, and that would have just been too much. But
Any road trip.
yeah. And so Colorado Springs is attainable. It's only like an hour and a half from where we lived in Denver. And the friends could afford that. It was perfect. So anyways, I was texting all the friends, and then I was also texting your 2 best friends on the side. And I left my phone on your bed, and I went to the bathroom or did something, and I come back, and you're like, why are you texting my friend? And I was like, what do you mean?
Well, it was especially weird because we were upstairs and he was downstairs.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so you like, at first you thought that maybe he was mad at us or something, and that he was like, you guys are being too loud, or like, you guys need to get out of the house or something. Like you thought he was angry at us, but then it was really cute because you were just like, you went straight from thinking like being panicked, like, oh my God, is he mad at us, to, oh baby, because you knew what my plans were. Mm-hmm. And I was like, fuck. So, but then I was kind of happy about it, because then I was like, good.
All the pressure was off.
Yeah, all the pressure was off. And I was like, now I hate hiding things.
Yeah.
Like, although I am good at secrets, I'm good at holding secrets, I hate holding them, especially when it's something fun like that. I was like, I just wanted to fast forward to this so that he can be surprised and have fun. And then I was like, well, you already ruined the surprise. So yeah, we're going for your birthday in 2 weeks. So have fun.
It would have been interesting to see how long that would have lasted. Because
I think it would have lasted quite a while, because that was the last time I texted your friends. We had everything set. We had yeah.
Oh, I was going to ask how long before the surprise was that? Because
about 2 weeks.
Okay, it's about 2 weeks.
Actually, it might have been even a month.
Yeah, I remember being something like 2 weeks or a month before.
It was a while before, but we had already booked the place, and then we already figured out who's going with who.
Yeah.
And then I tried to make it like we were going to drive separate, but then we were able to drive with our friends.
Yeah.
Because we were like, well, now he knows, so the cat's out of the bag, y'all. So if y'all need to ride with us, we can pick you up.
Remember how weird that Airbnb was? Where they were like, we are going to watch you on the ring and make sure that you all have left. And
yeah, that was really weird. They were really nice, though.
They were nice, but still, that was a weird... I mean, maybe it was just they put that to intimidate people, or not intimidate people.
Okay, so Colorado Springs is kind of like a party town, so I think they were worried that we were going to be throwing a party, because I did have that we had 6 people staying there, even though it was way more than that. But they left us a really great review. They left us a 5-star review and said that we were very quiet and kept to ourselves and cleaned up and did all the things we needed to do. So
it was a boring party that night.
Chewy.
Well, my parents told you about the review we got for the wedding venue.
Yeah,
right?
It was
we set a new standard.
We set a new standard for cleaning.
Yep.
Yeah, because your dad and my dad, they were very dad that day.
Oh,
they woke up and dadded.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh my God!
Hardcore. Dadding.
Remember though, the day after our wedding, we are exhausted. We didn't go to bed till almost 3-4 in the morning, and my dad wakes us up with the frickin'
reveille.
The reveille, and I'm just like, I want to punch my dad in the face right now. What the. And the whole point of the Airbnb wedding, or VRBO, whatever wedding, was so that we could all be together as a family. And at that moment, I was like, I have fucked up now. We should have stayed in our own place.
Why is my family here?
So wait a minute, was it his alarm clock, or what do you mean?
No, that's how he woke us up. He was like, these young kids sleeping in. I'm like, Dad, we literally just got married yesterday. We had a whirlwind of a romance and got married yesterday. And we literally danced for 5 hours straight. And then we got, and then we karaoke'd for 3 hours. And then we played games and talked with our friends that we hadn't seen in 6 months. So we're exhausted. So let us sleep.
Yeah. I think he kind of got into his head that it would be funny, which is a very dad thing to do.
Yeah, no, I remember your dad was laughing at my dad. He was like, oh. And I was like, great, this is a great bonding moment for the dads. But I was just, at that moment, I was like, just keep it in. I don't want your...
Smiling.
Yeah, I have to keep smiling, especially around my in-laws. They can't see the crazy. Only my family can see the crazy.
I remember knowing exactly what was going on and just kind of being like, figures.
I remember you being upset.
I remember, well, like...
You woke up and you're like, because you thought it was your dad.
Oh, yes. See, that's a big difference.
Yeah, exactly. But I was like, oh no, it's my dad. You were like, oh God, is that my dad? That's so mean. Like, we just got married. And then I was like, oh, I can guarantee you it's my dad. And we go out there and my dad's like, oh, did I wake you up? And I'm like, no, I woke up on my own. Don't give him the satisfaction.
I don't know if this is like something like, if I'm being like traditionalist here, but like the father of the groom waking you up after your wedding day seems rude. But the father of the bride doing it, I can get where he would see that was funny. But it's not funny.
Oh, like if it was his dad, it wouldn't have been funny.
If it was my dad, I don't think it would have been as funny.
If it was your dad, I mean, it's different when it's not your parent.
Maybe I should say.
If it was your dad, I probably would have been like, okay, I can see why that's funny. I wouldn't have thought it was funny because I would have been still a little bit like...
Perturbed.
Yeah, that's a good word, perturbed. I would have been a little bit perturbed and been like, thanks for that. I don't know.
I think what it was is that I had become extremely protective of that room because that's where you got ready. So like that whole little niche I had like kind of carved out or for just you. So anybody like messing with that area, I got very upset in.
You did, which was very sweet.
The protective group.
Oh, I mean, like, I don't know.
Okay,
that
well
level
now
of stress does not make me into the person I'd like to be.
Yeah,
a lot of stress.
same with everyone though.
Yeah.
Once you hit that like threshold, you
Yeah.
know, like it's totally normal. But we've veered off of birthday stories. Mom, tell us about one memorable birthday story from your childhood.
Oh, child?
Or like your favorite birthday.
Yeah,
What
good
was
one.
your favorite birthday?
Wow. 18, 21, 30, 40. Oh, I love my 40th. Maybe my 50th because it was the last big one.
Yeah.
But I like...
It was in lockdown.
Still, I don't know. You know what it is? For me, growing older is not a big deal. So I looked forward to turning 40. I had a Lordy Cindy's 40 birthday party.
Yeah,
and that
you
was
mentioned that earlier. That sounds fun.
That was a lot of fun. I had a lot of people there, and it was...
I missed that thing.
I found it again. I keep a little DVD of like my first 40 years, and she found all these pictures. I can't talk. Oh my God. It just, that was like the best. Oh yeah. That was, okay, maybe we should go back to the 40th. Yeah. I
You
had
are an
gone.
exceptional gift giver. Like, you really are. Like, you have a gift for gift giving.
She's a gift for gift giving. Yeah, it was just all my closest friends were there. Doriel had made me that beautiful DVD of my first 40 years. She found, how did we do that? Were we back east together and we looked through pictures? Oh, okay, you two.
I was in cahoots with your sisters, I think, and I reached out to them and asked if I could have some pictures of you when you were younger. Oh, wow. And then so they sent, I forget how we got the pictures, but I think I think they sent them out to us, and then your best friend Mike, he has a scanner, so he scanned them for me so that I could put them in a slideshow. Yeah. And so I every slide was like 0 to 10 years, 10 to 20 years, 20 to 30. And it was like a little collage of my mom at the different stages of her life. And then I played Good Riddance, the song by Green Day, Time of Your Life.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
Well, it's good riddance, and then I think in parentheses it's time of your life. Or the other way around, I don't remember.
Okay.
And then for your 50th birthday, during the lockdown, I really locked myself down on learning the guitar. And so I was like, oh, this would be perfect to learn that song for 10 years later.
Yeah.
So I learned that song on the guitar, along with another song that you really want to. "Shame on the Moon" by
Bob Seger.
Bob Seger. Thank you. So, anyways, I'm a sentimental bitch. What can I say? I may not have money, but I know
You have heart.
I have heart. So, like,
so
Brains
true.
and
Yeah.
heart, the
so
imagination
what do I
of
do
heart
for your
is
60th? I don't know what I'm gonna do with you.
60. Oh wow.
I-
I'll have
maybe-
to start planning
ooh.
that. 7 years.
Oh my God, I have a vision.
You already have visions and ideas.
Yeah,
You're so good at this.
You're gonna be so like whoa, and you're gonna cry so hard. See, that's my goal is to make people cry.
Oh, I still like the other day when I found it, looking through all the DVDs. I was like, oh. I almost watched it, but I hate to cry. I don't know why. I've cried so much through my entire life with all the crap going on. So it's like now I'm like, I will not, even though I know it's good. So eventually I will watch it. But I couldn't even listen to Time of Your Life on the radio for a long. I mean, it's not because I didn't like it. It was because of the sentiment.
back.
Oh, I was like, change. And then like maybe within a year, I was like forced myself to listen to it. I'm like, as I'm driving or whatever, I'm like, oh. So yeah.
Hey,
So awesome.
we're both sentimental bitches. Okay, that's how we are.
But you know what was sweet? The first picture, I think, was where it all started. It was with my mother and father in front of the house they bought when I was like a year. So it was 1971. It was, I was already a year at that point. But it was still like where it got started with my parents. Yeah,
Ooh.
How it always
You know what?
starts.
Speaking of sentimental bitches, my Aunt Annie, I don't think she watches these, but she got me a shirt once that said "Made in New Jersey," and I was conceived in New Jersey. I was born in Colorado, so she gave me that for Christmas one year and was like, "Get it? Because your parents boned there," and I was like, "Ew!"
My aunt,
That's my aunt for you.
my aunt does something similar because got married roughly a year, 10 months ish before I was born. So my aunt always says that their wedding filled my parents with such romance that that's how I was made.
Actually,
That
yeah,
they were the
that-
inspiration.
I can guarantee you if there was a study done on how many people were born after like, or were conceived after going to a wedding, because weddings are so romantic.
Yeah.
It's like highlighting someone's romance and passion for each other. And then if you're with someone, you're like, oh, remember we're that happy, or like one day that's going to be us. And so I totally get that.
Well, have you heard of World Cup babies?
Yeah.
Yeah, after the World Cup, in whatever country is the winner, the amount of births goes up to a significant amount that they can actually statistically pinpoint it.
Yep, that is true.
9 to 10 months before they won a championship.
I for sure thought that there was going to be another baby boom, like a baby boomer situation during the pandemic, but no. Births actually went down. Right. And I think it's more so just like a biological response where humans are like, we're very unsure of the future for our species. And so we're going to keep the nasties down for a while. Or we're just like, instead, we're going to use a condom or use protection or whatever.
Well, people forget, like, after the baby boom, like, from just a ecological, like, biological thing. How many people died in World War II? How many people died in World War I?
Yep.
How many people died from the Spanish flu? So that's a good 40-ish years of a lot of deaths.
A lot of deaths.
So, probably it was a natural response to be like, hey, we got to get these numbers back up.
Yep. Which I think is going to happen again, especially because we've had overpopulation for so long, and now apparently we are in a crisis where the population is dwindling, where we're going to have more people over the age of 60 than we will young kids when we're that age, and it's going to be an issue. But at the same time, I'm like, we really don't need overpopulation. We don't need that many people in this world, so I'm okay with that. Like, totally fine with it.
It's probably another response. It's probably another response to being like
the economics about it, right? But still, it's overpopulation is still going to be a bad thing.
Yep.
I mean, the last time something like this happened when there was a plague and then there was a drop in population, that created, because people who were left, obviously their labor was more valuable, so they had a pay increase. And then they lived better lives, and then that's kind of what caused things like later Renaissance to spread, ideas to spread. People kind of could spend more on things like, having a better life. Mm-hmm. And so that kind of changed the way, at least this is a very Eurocentric study, but like that kind of changed the way people lived from like, our perception of squalor living medieval peasantry to kind of more of a middle to upper class late Renaissance and Enlightenment period. Mm-hmm. So bring on the plagues is what I'm saying. No, I'm just joking. No.
Let's go back to birthdays.
Yeah, what was your favorite?
Okay, well, this one, besides this one, because I was telling my mom, like, this is the best birthday present I've ever gotten. But I think my 25th birthday always will take the cake because it was right before the pandemic. It was January of 2019, so right before shit hit the fan on the world scale. And this was the first time I'd had friends in my life that were meaningful and that were nice, like that treated me the way I wanted to be treated. And it was also the very end of my relationship that I was unhappy in. So I just felt really good. And so you remember this, we were renting a house together at that point to save money for my other wedding. Fun times. And anyways, we had a lot of people over. We had like 30 to 40 people that showed up, and I knew all of them. They were all from work, and we had like a potluck kind of thing. And people were just having so much fun. Like, it was a really great party. And yep, that's another reason why it was the year I got my dog. So she was my birthday present when I was 25. And that's another reason why I was sad turning 30, because I'm like, that means she's 5. The way that we named Lily was at my birthday party. We played beer pong, and underneath every single one of the beer pong cups, we wrote names because my ex and I, we had so many names that we wanted to name her. And so we literally had a notebook full of names, and then we're like, okay, what if, and then he came up with the idea of like, what if we write them on the bottom of these beer pong, like the solo cups, and then whatever the winning cup is, and and it had to be a game between me and him. It couldn't be a game between anybody else, because we were the ones that were naming her. And so we wrote all the names down, and it came down to like Lily and Astrid, which was like the second name that I was thinking for her because I thought it was so cute.
I think your middle name.
Lily Astrid. Yeah. Maybe. 5 years later, here's your middle name, Lily.
Better than never.
Yeah. But so anyways, I was about to lose, and I was really upset by it because I was like, you can't even let me win on my birthday. Come on. But then I looked at the bottom of the cup, and I was like, ooh, I want you to win. Because I just knew. I was like, Lily. I've always wanted the name Lily.
I love that name.
And
cute.
This was before when I wanted a little girl named Lily. I wanted to have a little girl and name her Lily. And then I kind of moved on from that idea and was like, no, I want to have a dog. I wanted to get a girl dog, and I wanted to name her Lily. Mm-hmm. And so, like I said, I really liked Astrid. And those were the last two names. But I knew I wasn't going to win. And then when I saw the winning name, I was like, yeah, I want you to win.
Is it also because I used to call you, was it Tiger Lily or Water Lily? I used to always call you that when you were a kid. I don't know why.
I don't know. I just thought it
always called you Tiger Lily. I think it was Tiger, and then I gave you a picture of it. Was it Tiger or is it Water? They were kind of interchangeable, but I think Tiger was more predominant, and I don't know why. But I just love the name Lily myself, so I get that.
I always just think of it as like a very whimsical name, like, oh, Lilith, or you know what I mean? So, and it's really cute too. And it's like a name of like a cute little girl named Lily. And so then I was like, well, dogs are always looked at as little puppies. they're always looked at as little babies.
Yeah.
So she will always be cute little Lily.
Yeah.
You know, no matter what age she is.
I've told you about my name for after having Sage. If I was pregnant, remember, but I lost it. But anyway, I thought if I have a little girl, I wanted to name it Lily. Late in life baby, because I would have been like 37, 38 or something. So I was like, oh, I'll name her Lily. But I got a Lily anyway.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
I always thought that you were going to have a boy after Sage. But
Kind of wanted, so I had like an even family.
Yeah,
I
even
would have like
split.
4, right?
Yeah.
2 boys, 2 girls. That would have been fun.
can you imagine if you were a mom of 4 right now?
3, let me be. Yeah. If I had the 4, then it would be 4 no more, you know. But,
That's just crazy to think of how different our lives would have been. And
5,
like,
how did I survive?
like, yes, yeah.
no, 5, how did my husband survive?
No.
Yeah.
Because I want to murder him for getting me pregnant again.
Don't you kill him. He did this to me.
It was you. So anyways, yeah, 25 was a really, really good birthday for me. And I'll always remember it because it was right before the pandemic. So it was like our last hurrah, you know?
Yeah.
And it was so much fun. I love hosting parties. That's what I miss so much. Like living here and not having friends is hard for me because I just love hosting and having people over. And no, I do. I get that from my mom. Yeah, we had themed parties all the time growing up, and it was so much fun. And so when I had my own place, that was like the thing that I wanted to do.
Well, it's on the board. Host
It's on the board.
Yes.
Yeah, host a theme party.
Universe. Just kidding. Anyways, do you have any more birthday wisdom? Anything you want to tell me for my 30th birthday or what? Because you guys you've been 30. Mm-hmm. So what is your birthday wisdom for me?
Well, it's been longer for me, but you can't give up. You just, like I remember being 30 and my life is different. And of course, Generation X, vastly different from the generation before, after, whatever, right? But my whole life was I just wanted to have kids and be married. The job, whatever. So I think it's hard for me to be able to give you advice sometimes because I didn't I didn't want to go to college. I worked my way up in all my jobs. Last place I worked was IBM. That was like the best job I ever had. And then I've been blessed not to have to work. So I feel like, what do I say? But really just keep going because even at 30, I remember I didn't have enough friends. I just met Mike. So Mike has been my friend since 2000. So almost 24 years, my longest friend. And and I was still insecure and awkward, even at 30. Some people bloom later, and that's quite okay. And if you don't bloom, you are who you are. You just love yourself no matter what.
That was really great advice because I do still feel very uncomfortable in my skin sometimes. So thank you for that wisdom.
You're welcome.
I loved it.
Okay.
Shane?
I mean, I don't know how much more I could add to that because obviously I didn't even meet you until I was 30.
That is true.
And I told you I put so much stock into those late 20s years, but those turned out to be some of the not best years of my life. I was super depressed, and a lot of it had to do with the fact that my life didn't live up to the expectations I had for those late years. But my life didn't really start getting good until I was 30. I think because a lot of it was that I dropped those expectations.
Well, that's great advice.
Yeah.
Like you're basically telling me that it gets better.
I mean, it gets a lot. It does. It really does. It's just, I don't know. 20s just feels like so much pressure and so little knowledge, and 30 feels like the foot is starting to lift off of you inch by inch, little by little. Yeah. So I would say, it's going to feel better. I mean, bending down won't feel better.
No.
The picking stuff up won't feel better.
I didn't. No, I don't. Maybe you, but
Did you listen to our episode where I was like, "What the fuck happened? I can't bend over anymore." You know how Dad always gets like red head, like his face will turn red, and then he'll be like, "Ugh, ugh," when he's just tying his shoes. That's me now, y'all. That's me now.
that's funny.
That's why I'm doing yoga. Okay, I'm taking my power back.
Yeah.
But anyways, those are really wonderful advice for both of you. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming out here and, surprising me. That was really awesome, and it's been really great having you, and I think you're just going to have to stay for a few more days. So, yeah.
I knew you were going to say that. I was waiting for that. Oh, yeah. I was like, TikTok. She's going to be like, Mommy, can you stay for a while?
I mean, you can stay forever if you want. But no, you want to get back to your life. It's fine. Thank you for everything you've done and for birthing me 30 years ago and for rearing me into the person that I am today.
Wonderful girl. Yes. Woman. Young woman.
I gotta say thank you for that too. Because
Oh my goodness.
no.
Sentimental. Gross.
The world unites.
Hey, I like to make other people cry, okay? I don't like to be the one crying. I'm like you. But also thank you for being in cahoots with my mother.
Anytime.
And for holding that secret, because I know how hard it was on you, and you did a really wonderful job.
Aw,
and this has been like a really great week, even though the weather has not been very kind to us.
I think we've made it work.
Yeah.
I came out with speaking of no expectations, I came out with none because I knew the weather was going to be crappy, and truly, with all my heart, I really just wanted to be with you guys.
Aw.
Didn't care what we did, where we went. Just being here I'm over the moon.
Also, like you said, you're like, I came out here as a surprise, so you lived your life. Like, I don't expect you to stop doing what you had planned to do. If you had anything planned or if you had work to get done, which, podcast is now my full-time 9-to-5 job. So, you've been very gracious. You've been a wonderful guest.
Really?
No, really, yeah. Yeah. You've been really great. And I think that's a wrap. Thank you for being our first guest on the new setup in the studio. We'll have to get some more people, and I have to. We had to share this mic because first of all, this only has a setup for 2 mics, so I have to figure out maybe a way to get a third one. Yeah, I don't know how to do that because it only has 2 outputs.
Okay.
Or inputs. I don't know what you call them. See, I'm not a techie person, but it only has 1 plug-in for each mic, so we'd have to get one that has like more, or maybe there's like a extender you can buy. I don't know. If you guys know, if you are techie people and you're listening to this, please comment down below how I can get a 3rd mic or a 4th mic on here so that we can have guests and not have to go, back and forth with our mics. But anyways, thanks for listening. We'll see you next week. Do you have anything to say to our listeners?
Bye.
Oh, say hi to yourself.
Hi, self.
What? You're going to be watching this.
Hi, Cindy.
Hi, Mom. I miss you.
Hi, future Cindy.
Anyways, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, and do all the things so that we can get the podcast out there. Share it, like, subscribe, comment, bust it down for a real one.
Oh, tell us some birthday stories.
Yeah, tell us your favorite birthday memory. I can't think of words. Tell us your favorite birthday memory down below. Anyways.
Thank you all again.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.